episode of Bachelor on a Budget coming up. What we're doing here is making some authentic brown bread to go with our beef stew that we've got going here in the pot. We've got about 45 minutes until that's done, so that's perfect because this bread takes about 45 minutes to bake. So a few things you'll need for this are a large mixing bowl, a small mixing bowl, a bread pan, a wooden spoon, and a 1-cup measuring cup. As far as ingredients go, what we have is some stone ground wheat flour, we have some kosher salt, we have some brown sugar, baking soda, an egg, some butter, and some buttermilk. So in this bowl we've mixed together 4 cups of the flour, a tablespoon of brown sugar, a teaspoon of baking powder, and then just a good 3-finger pinch of the coarse kosher salt that we have. And we're just going to grab our whisk and just kind of mix all of this together and just get everything incorporated. And then in this bowl we're going to take some buttermilk. We'll measure out 2 cups of this buttermilk. And then what you want to do with the butter is you want to melt about 4 tablespoons of butter and then let it cool. You want it room temperature. And the reason is because we're going to beat an egg into this, and we don't want this to turn into scrambled eggs. So I have this pan of butter here that I've let cool, and I'm just going to pour all of that right into the buttermilk. And then we'll take ourselves an egg here and just give it a quick crack right into the bowl. Grab the same whisk, break up that yolk, and then mix all of these wet ingredients together. A bigger bowl may have worked better, but work with what you have. So we have all of the wet ingredients combined, and we have all of the dry ingredients combined. Now we'll just take this and pour it right all in together. And we have a wooden spoon. I'm just going to start from the outside and bring it in, and just mix all of the wet ingredients right into the dry ingredients. Now what separates this from regular American wheat bread is Irish brown bread is a little bit more crumbly and has a different texture than American wheat bread, and it tends to have a little bit more crust also. And you'll notice that this dough is a little bit more wet than regular bread dough is going to be, and we don't really want to knead it too much because this is just a quick bread. We don't have to sit and let this rise. We don't have to do anything with it. We don't have to mix in any yeast either. It's not going to rise as much as you would expect a bread to, because again, it's not like a normal American bread. And then once you get everything mixed together, grab your pan, and then once you get everything together, grab your pan, and then just give it a light flouring. Otherwise, everything's going to stick to the pan if you don't. And just kind of shake it around, get that flour nice and evenly mixed in there. And then grab your loaf, and stuff your bread right down into it. Now this may rise just a little bit, and I want to control how it cracks. So I'm just going to grab a knife and give it a cut right down the middle, so that way if it does split, that's where it happens. What I have here are some dried beard grains. So I beard brew a few weeks ago, and I took some of the grains and dried it out, and I figured at some point I would use it for baking. Well, today's that day. I'm just going to take a small bit of this, sprinkle it right over top, so we get a little bit extra graininess, maybe a little bit of decoration on that bread. Now, since my pan's hot, because it was in the oven for a minute before I remembered, I'm just going to grab it with my oven mitt and throw it in. And now it's ready to bake for 45 minutes. Alrighty, so our homemade brown bread is now ready to eat. All we have to do now is wait for the stew to finish, and we'll be just about ready to go. And you have St. Patrick's Day handled. Click on the link here, or I don't know where the link's going to be, but click on it and learn how to make the stew I've got going behind me. Cheers.